Hello everyone, Brian here with a follow-up to the work video I did on Kumamoto Castle, just to give you some updates on how the work is going. So I am about 4 hours into this model now. I never dreamed it would take that long, but I spent a lot of time waiting for things to glue up. Maybe if I had, I've said before, these self-closing tweezers are absolutely invaluable to this kind of work. And I'm thinking I should buy another set of 3, and then I could move twice as fast with this. But as it is right now, I'm putting a lot of pieces together, and then I'm probably giving them more time to glue up than they need. But I certainly don't want it to come apart after I've put it together, and so I'm 4 hours into this thing. So as we noted when we opened up the kit, you've got two-sided instructions. I am all through the first side at this point, and I am probably 1/4 of the way through the second sheet. 4 hours worth of work, and here's where this gets us at this point. There's still some things about the model I don't like. I probably shouldn't always point out what I don't like, but there you go. You can see this side of the model seems to angle up a little bit this way. This side of the model, at least the staircase here, this piece angles up slightly that way. So I'm not thrilled with that. I also don't know what I could have done about that. There was no obvious way to prevent the model from kind of flexing as it wanted to. So here's some of what I've learned about putting these together. And recall, as I've said again and again, I'm brand new to this. So this is just me learning as I go. One is, it's tough to video them. The work video I did just before this was putting together portions of this top tower here, where I didn't have quite as much. I had to sit and hold together with the tweezers and glue up. And so that's why I chose that one for the video, because I thought I could move a little faster on it. Usually what I'm doing is I'm putting a few pieces together, I'm connecting them together with tweezers, and then I'm letting them sit here for 2 or 3 minutes, and that doesn't make for a really interesting video, even if you double speed it. And so that's why I haven't done a whole lot of videos at this point. But in terms of actually making the model sort of solid, one of the things I've learned is all the tabs you see on the underside there, and wherever they are, you really need to glue those all down. Something in an earlier video I noticed I wasn't terribly happy with this piece here, and how this last third addition here kind of sat at weird angles. Well, as soon as I glued down all the tabs, that straightened itself out. And what you find is you go in to clamp a tab down to glue it, and you'll look around and notice that, well, the tab isn't pulled all the way down there, and so you squeeze the tab together and replace the tweezers to clamp it down, and now everything looks better. So getting at the tabs is really important. And to that end, again, it's good, regardless of what the instructions say, it's good to take a look and think about how you're going to put things together. For example, and this is related to tabs, here on this instruction here, it's telling you to put the roof on and then put in the 2 detail pieces on the side. Well, if you do it in that order, you're not going to be able to get at the tabs for either of these things. And in this case, I might have been able to get away with just putting some glue on the tab and inserting it and hoping the tab will catch. But what I really wanted to do was get in there, pre-bend this tab, put it in, and then clamp it up in place. And so I had to do this, and then put the roof on. And so now I'm watching with the instructions every step I go to make sure that I'm not going to prevent myself from getting at what I want to get at. So always plan your work out. Don't follow the instructions religiously. Think about the work that you need to do and plan accordingly. In some cases, like when I put this piece of roof on here, it slides in over the gable ends. And I was concerned that the gable end might push inward a little bit and glue itself in place there, and there was no way I could get at it because the roof's a solid piece. So I went underneath and cut out 2 holes here so that I could stick a toothpick in and lever that toothpick up against that gable end. In case it went inward, I could push it back out again. Same thing there. Now it turned out I didn't need to do that. And, you know, I could have cut these holes after I found I was having a problem, but while I'm busy cutting these holes, things are gluing up here. So I wanted to be ready for that. So, so make sure you can get at those tabs. Pre-bend the tabs before you put something in. So you don't want to, I don't have an example. Well, yeah, I've got an example of it here. These tabs here, when you put the piece in, they stick straight through. You don't want to put them in and while you've got glue in place, trying to bend them down and potentially flexing the cardboard. What you want is to pre-bend those tabs and then bend them back out again so that when you slide it through and you go to bend the tab over and glue it, there's no resistance because it's already been bent once before. Color the connection points before assembly. You know, I noted these markers before in a grayscale, and I used them to color the corners here where the light paper underneath might show through on a corner, which wouldn't look good. Let's see, where the structure landed down on the base just behind the darker pieces of cardboard here, you could, looking in there, you could see some of that light cardboard. And then when let's see, it's hard to see now, but this piece is really a white piece of paper, and the gray roof piece sits on top of that. But right behind that, where it slots into the building, it is a white tab that goes through there. And if you leave that white, you're gonna see white behind this gray right there, and it's not gonna look very good. And so what I'm doing is I'm coming in and coloring everything. Now you saw that on the video. I actually colored the back edge of this white piece and the tabs going in so that you wouldn't be able to see it once it's in. I did that. I colored the bases I traced along the edge of the bases in gray. I did the corners in gray. Now, some of this, like this piece, I did it after I glued the pieces down. I went in with a very fine brush and colored in between. But what I should have done is I should have traced that edge carefully before I glued everything down, so that I'm not, you know, accidentally coloring any of the dark gray here. So I've started doing the markers. I've started putting the gray in wherever I'm working before I glue anything down. And then the last thing I did that I'd want to do a little differently last time is these little window flaps are supposed to be open all the way around, or rather they look better if they're open all the way around. But in 2 places, on this one here and on this one here, the tab that is used to glue the building sides together, a little bit of glue caught the edge of this one and caught the edge of that one, so that there was no easy way then to open those up. And I could have tried to get in there with an X-Acto knife and cut away the back edge that was catching these two, but the structure was so delicate that in the end I thought, well, all right, apparently 2 windows are going to remain closed. But watch that when you're gluing these together. Make sure the tabs are not, what I should have done is I should have pre-opened all of the windows before I glued it together, and then I wouldn't have had to worry about that. So there's where we are on Kumamoto Castle. I'm guessing I've got about 2 hours left of work to do on this, and then it will be complete. It's my first glue together paper model, so it was certainly a learning experience. So there you go, Kumamoto Castle. I might try and do another work video. We'll see. If not, I'll just do an ending video and wrap it all up. So thank you all for joining me, and for now, bye-bye.